All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, the NFL drama this offseason has been centered around the quarterback shuffle, and the latest chapter of that has the Philadelphia Eagles sending quarterback Carson Wentz to the Indianapolis Colts. Now, in exchange for Wentz, the Eagles will receive a third-round pick in the 2021 draft and a conditional second-round pick in 2022 that could turn into a first-round pick. Now, the Colts will take on the bulk of Wentz's contract, while the Eagles will see a cap hit for the upcoming season of more than $33 million. At the end of the day, you look at how things, ended for Carson Wentz in Philadelphia. It wasn't on a pretty note. He was taken so early on in the 2016 draft, second overall, right behind Jared Goff, who himself got traded this offseason to the Detroit Lions from the Rams. And, as a starter, Wentz was 35, 32, and 1. Overall, he had a completion percentage 62.7, but you look at this past season, it was not a good one as he threw 16 touchdowns and 15 interceptions. It's going to be important, and I think for Wentz, he's going to get a breath of fresh air going to Indianapolis for several reasons. You look at it, first and foremost, he's in a smaller media market, so you don't have to worry about that. Number two, he's going to be reuniting with Frank Reich. Of course, Reich is currently the head coach of the Colts. During Wentz's first two seasons there, Reich was an assistant coach. And, a lot of people, myself included, have said this. Carson Wentz has not been the same quarterback since Frank Reich left. And if you look at Wentz, especially this past season, you looked at him play, and we didn't even see him look this bad as a rookie. You saw a guy, it was simply a deer in headlights. He simply just didn't have it. And it's unfortunate because he has not been the same guy since the injury. Of course, that knee injury that ended his 2017 season. And he had to sit on the sidelines and watch the Eagles win the Super Bowl championship. He has not been the same guy since. I know that the Eagles were not a talented team around him this season. They had a lot of injuries on the offensive line. Carson Wentz had happy feet, and honestly, it got to his head. You look at him going to Indianapolis. One thing that Frank Reich has focused on since he's been there is building the offensive line. The Colts are solid there. They have the ability to run the football. They have some playmakers at the wide receiver position. And I think the best thing for Carson Wentz going to Indy is, he doesn't have to be the guy. It's one of those things, just don't try to take the game over and just don't try to lose the game, because you don't want to force the ball, because you have a very stout and opportunistic defense in Indianapolis. We saw that this past season that can go out there and get you the football. It's a situation for Wentz, just play within the realm of the offense. And I think what going back to Reich is going to give him the opportunity to get some confidence. Go back to, how fluid he was in his first year plus with the Philadelphia Eagles, because you look at Carson Wentz and you go back and watch the game tape for his first 2 years in the NFL. This was a guy who was oozing with confidence. He felt like he couldn't do anything wrong. You just have not seen that from him the past couple of seasons, and a lot of people don't understand this, but so much of the sports aspect really comes down to the mental framework of it, and this guy was simply not confident. On the flip side, for Philadelphia, they appear to be starting over. Of course, they have a new head coach after they parted with Doug Peterson. You have to ask yourself, are they going to let Jalen Hurts be the starting quarterback for 2021? Are they going to look in the draft to get their next starting quarterback? Are they going to look through free agency or a trade to find another quarterback? We'll have to wait and see. But that the Eagles really wanted to move on from Carson Wentz when they're willing to take a cap hit of more than $33 million for the upcoming season. That just lets you know. The Eagles, they are in full rebuild mode. This team has really had a rapid downward spiral since they won that championship in 2017. And now they got to start back over and get back to their toughness, get back to their identity, get back to what we've known the Eagles to be as a franchise throughout their illustrious history. You have to look at it and you ask yourself, who won this trade? I think this is a trade that is a win-win for all parties involved. Carson Wentz gets a fresh start with a new organization in the Colts. He gets to reunite with a familiar face in Frank Reich. And if you're the Philadelphia Eagles, you know what? There were problems with Doug Peterson and Carson Wentz last year. If you're Jeffrey Lurie, the team owner, now you get the opportunity to start over fresh. And I guarantee you it won't take the Eagles that long to get back on track. We've seen what they have been during the tenure of the ownership of Jeffrey Lurie. They have been one of the better teams in the National Football League. So it's one of those where, you know what, he's going to get back on track. He's going to put the right people in the right positions to help this franchise get back on track, and it's only a matter of time. So you look at it for Indianapolis, it only cost you a third-round pick this year, a second next year, and potentially a first, but you could possibly have your franchise quarterback going forward for the next 5 to 10 years. Like I said, it was a win-win for everybody involved. If you are Carson Wentz, you go to an opportunity with the Colts in the AFC South where you're in a very winnable division. Like I've said before, I doubt Deshaun Watson is a starting quarterback for the Texans next season. The Jacksonville Jaguars are starting over, and at some point the other shoe has to drop on the running ability of Titans running back Derrick Henry. So this is a very winnable division for the Colts. Carson Wentz simply has to go out there and not try to do it all by himself. He has a good team around him, arguably his best team that he's been around since the Eagles won it all in 2017. Great opportunity for him. The Eagles are definitely in rebuild mode, and like I said before, this was a win-win for all parties involved. So folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you subscribers out there. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out, drop a line, and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin. Take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.